Tall and strong people already draw attention on their own, but now, imagine literally giant people. That's right, there are or there have been on our planet people, let's say, completely outside the standards who even made it into the record book. Whether for the impressive height or for the weight, these human beings gained notoriety around the world, and that's exactly what you're going to see here today. Iman Ahmed, born in 1980 in Egypt, is known for having been the most obese woman in the world before her passing in 2017. Iman developed morbid obesity since childhood, a problem that was aggravated over the years. When she reached her maximum weight, she weighed approximately 500 kilograms, which made her one of the heaviest people in the world. Her condition prevented her from moving and living a normal life, requiring constant medical care and a series of interventions. Due to her condition, Iman faced a series of health problems, including cardiovascular and respiratory complications. In addition, as mentioned earlier, her weight directly affected her mobility and her ability to perform basic daily activities. In 2017, Iman Ahmed was transported from her home in Egypt to India, where she underwent a series of medical procedures, including bariatric surgery to try to reduce her weight. However, a few months after the surgery, Iman died due to some post-surgery complications and also because of the health problems she had already been facing. Robert Wadlow, born on February 22, 1918, in Alton, Illinois, in the United States, is widely recognized as the tallest man in history. His impressive height, which reached 2 meters and 72 centimeters, made him a figure marked in history. Wadlow began to grow at an accelerated rate from a very young age. At 5 years old, he was already 1 meter and 52 centimeters tall. His growth continued at an impressive pace throughout his life due to a condition known as gigantism, caused by a tumor in the pituitary gland that resulted in the excessive production of growth hormone. The extreme height brought a series of health problems. He wore orthopedic supports to help him walk and to support his weight. In addition, he suffered from infections and complications related to his condition, which ended up affecting his overall health. Despite his height, Wadlow tried to lead a relatively normal life. He graduated from high school and participated in school activities. In his adult life, Wadlow worked in a law office and also took part in advertising campaigns, appearing at events and rallies. Wadlow died on July 15, 1940, at 22 years old, due to an infection resulting from a problem with a brace he was using. His early death was unfortunately a tragic result of the complications associated with his abnormal growth. John Brower Minnock was born on September 29, 1941, in Washington, United States, and is recognized to this day as the heaviest man in history. According to records, John officially weighed more than 635 kilograms. This number was only a narrow estimate, however, because due to his extreme weight, poor health, and lack of mobility, a scale could not be used. He suffered from obesity since childhood and had a very unregulated diet. From that, weight gain was inevitable, and his life became very debilitated and consequently painful. In March of 1978, Minnock was hospitalized at the University of Seattle Hospital, where Dr. Robert Schwartz calculated that he must have weighed more than 635 kilograms, much of which was the accumulation of water due to his congestive heart failure. Minnock's difficulty in moving was such that to get to the University of Seattle Hospital, a dozen firefighters and an improvised stretcher were needed to transport him from his home to a ferry. When he arrived at the hospital, saturated with fluid and suffering from heart and respiratory failure, he was placed on 2 beds tied together. It took 13 people just to put him in bed. After almost 2 years on a diet of 1,200 calories a day, John lost approximately 413 kilograms, which at the time was the largest weight loss ever documented. He was discharged at 216 kilograms, but shortly thereafter he began to gain more weight again. When he died on September 10, 1983, he already weighed more than 362 kilograms and was again gaining a lot of weight. John's biggest problem was his mind and his anxiety, which made him take everything out on food. Rümeysa Gelgi is a Turkish woman of 24 years old with 2 meters and 15 centimeters in height who was confirmed by the Guinness World Records as the tallest woman in the world in October of 2021. Gelgi suffers from Weaver syndrome, a rare condition that accelerates growth. To give you an idea, only 50 cases like hers have been described in the entire history of medicine. The disease is characterized by tall stature, a typical facial appearance with increased distance between the pupils, large ears, and a smaller chin. Over the years, she was the target of prejudice, but she states that the recent recognition in the record book has been a source of pride, as it makes her feel special. She says that as a child she had to deal with a lot of bullying because of her height, but thanks to the encouragement of her family, she managed to overcome it. At 18 years old, she already held the record for the tallest teenager in the world, and since then, she has used her fame to raise public awareness about the lives of people with rare diseases like hers. The condition also brings with it serious physical disabilities, such as scoliosis, lack of muscles, and balance problems. She usually moves in a wheelchair, but sometimes she can sit and move for short periods with the help of a walker. Brock Brown, born in 1997 in Jackson, Michigan, gained notoriety as the tallest living teenager, reaching an impressive height of 2 meters and 34 centimeters at 19 years old. His extreme height is the result of a rare medical condition called Sotos syndrome, also known as cerebral gigantism. Brown was diagnosed with Sotos syndrome when he was still a child. This genetic condition causes accelerated growth during childhood, resulting in an unusually tall stature. In addition to physical growth, the syndrome can cause learning difficulties, delayed motor development, behavioral problems, and other medical complications. From a very young age, the boy grew at a remarkable pace. When he was only 5 years old, he was already taller than most children his age. At 14 years old, he measured about 2 meters and 13 centimeters. His continuous and accelerated growth caught the attention of the media, and he was nicknamed the tallest teenager in the world. Despite the recognition and fame, Brown's height brought a series of challenges to his daily life. He needed custom furniture, clothes, and shoes due to his size. In addition, he faced chronic back pain and circulatory problems related to gigantism. Despite these challenges, the young man is described by his family as a kind and good-hearted person who sought to lead a life as normal as possible. Sultan Kosin is the tallest living man in the world. In 2009, he became the first man over 2 meters and 38 centimeters to be measured by Guinness World Records in more than 20 years. To give you an idea, there are only 10 confirmed or reliable cases in history of men who have reached 2 meters and 38 centimeters or more. Sultan was born on December 10, 1982, and the curious thing is that the rest of his family, including his parents and 4 siblings, are all of average size. Sultan's growth and massive height are caused by a condition known as pituitary gigantism, which is the result of excessive production of growth hormone seen in most people on this list. Due to his extreme size, Sultan was never able to finish school and began working as a farmer to support his family. For him, the size brings advantages such as being able to help his mother change light bulbs and hang the curtains without needing ladders. But there are also disadvantages such as not being able to find clothes or shoes, in addition to it being extremely difficult to get around either by car or public transport. Jace is a boy who has become very well known lately for being considered the tallest child in the world. To give you an idea, Jace at only 10 years old measures about 1 meter and 90 centimeters. When Jace was born, he appeared to be a regular child. However, he quickly grew at an impressive speed, proving to be much bigger than children his age. His parents noticed something was wrong with their son, and when they took him to the doctor, they discovered that he had gigantism. Despite all the size that sets him apart from his friends, Jace lives a life like any other child his age. Jace grows about 12 centimeters per year and says he likes his whole size. After all, when he plays any kind of sport against his classmates, he stands out because of his height. Although he enjoys being tall while still a child, the fact can be dangerous for Jace in the future, since gigantism can bring serious health conditions and problems over time. Therefore, the family is already seeking surgery. Jolison Fernandes da Silva, known as Ninao, is considered the tallest man in all of Brazil. He was born in 1985 in the city of Assunção, in the state of Paraíba, Brazil. Ninao measures about 2 meters and 37 centimeters in height, a condition resulting from a tumor in the pituitary gland that caused acromegaly, a disease that causes excessive bone growth. Due to the frightening size, it did not take long for the local media, and consequently that of the whole world, to look for him for an interview and even to tell his peculiar story. His unusual height brought challenges such as mobility difficulties and health problems, and thanks to his visibility, a great outpouring was generated, and thus he received a lot of help. Unfortunately, more recently, Nanao suffered from infection problems in one of his legs due to his condition and was forced to have it amputated. A great outpouring was generated on the internet with the situation, and he received a lot of help, such as a prosthesis, a wheelchair adapted to his size, among other things. Kalina Leao became known as one of the most obese women in Brazil, reaching at her maximum about 460 kilograms. Her condition brought serious health complications and drew the attention of the public and the media to the extreme challenges of obesity. Kalina lived in a situation of immobility for many years due to the excessive weight, which required intensive care from family members and health professionals. Her story was widely publicized on television and on social networks, raising discussions about morbid obesity, public health, and the psychological impacts of this condition, since she lived in a deep depression. Despite efforts to lose weight, improve her quality of life, and an outpouring created by her participation in TV shows, Kalina died in March of 2021 due to complications related to her condition, which were many indeed. Baby Sunny Ayres was born in October of 2023 in Ontario, Canada, and soon drew the attention of the medical team. At 6.5 kilograms, the newborn became the heaviest to be born at Cambridge Memorial Hospital in more than a decade. Sunny was born by cesarean delivery and in great health. Due to all his size and weight, the fact quickly began to spread through the hospital, leaving all the professionals impressed. To give you an idea, his birth weight was more than double the average weight of a newborn, which usually stays between 2.5 kilograms and 4 kilograms. Sunny is the fifth child of the Ayres family, the youngest of 3 boys and 1 girl. According to the doctor, the boy's parents were already known for big babies, and shortly before he was born, an ultrasound showed that the boy would weigh about 6 kilograms. However, he surpassed that mark. A 10-year-old boy from Indonesia, called by the press the fattest child in the world, was forced to start a diet by medical orders. He could no longer walk and stopped going to school because of his weight. At 188 kilograms, Arya Permana was considered morbidly obese. The BBC spoke with his mother, Rokaya, in Karawang, Indonesia. She said that her son ate 2 plates of noodles, meatballs, or porridge 5 times a day, and that on the diet he received red rice, vegetables, and fruits. In addition to the strict diet, Arya underwent surgery and fortunately managed to lose a lot of weight, being able to have a normal life again. Recently, he became news again for losing more than 110 kilograms. He now walks 3 kilometers a day, plays basketball and other sports, and can climb trees and ride a motorcycle for the first time. Arya also managed to return to school, which was a big step. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch more videos like this.